Hey there. It is Friday, and end of another long week here in my new house. And I didn't do a lot today. I thought I was going to do a lot today, but let's just call it supply chain issues caused a little bit of a slowdown in my progress today. So I took a much needed break. But I'll show you just a few of the little things that I got done in the last 24 hours. The fan behind me, see the two dangly things right there? Those weren't there until yesterday this time, and the globe wasn't on the light. It was just a bare light bulb. So because this light is operated, this fan is operated by a dimmer switch over there, it's either all on, or if I dim it, I don't know, it's weird. And sometimes I want the fan on, but I don't want the light on. So, but I'd have to get up on a ladder to pull the chain to turn the light off, and keep the fan on. So, unfortunately, the pull chain to the fan doesn't seem to do anything, because sometimes I might want the light on and not the fan. Not right now when it's 98 degrees outside, but come winter, I'm gonna have to figure that out, because I put the pull chain on the fan and it didn't do anything. But whatever, who knows how it was wired. But at least now I don't look like I live in a trap house with a bare light bulb hanging from the ceiling, so that makes me feel better. And so I'm going to take you into the front parlor, come through and flip this around. Okay, so this morning I came in here, and one reason I want to show you this is because sometime in the next hour or so, my second load, my last load, my final load of stuff from Chattanooga, hey Cass, is arriving. It's on a truck. I guess they had a flat tire that delayed them a couple hours. It's this whole getting my stuff, the last of my stuff, has just been making me want to punch a puppy. Not this puppy. Actually, I'd never punch a puppy, but that's how frustrated I've been the last couple days. But anyway, this morning I got up and I started there was stuff behind those cube shelves, and they were out about the same, they were out to like here, and there were boxes out to here, and there was crap. This is all empties over here, and that makes me happy. So this room now has a little bit more space, at least temporarily maybe. I also got all the blinds dusted and vacuumed, and I vacuumed around baseboards as I cleaned stuff up. This is my great-grandmother Nellie's China hutch that came from their farm in Michigan a couple years ago. Well, I guess, did I get this before I left? I don't remember if I got that before I left Illinois. Gosh, I don't remember. Or if my parents brought it down to me after I came to Chattanooga. I don't remember. I don't remember anything. But I've got this cleaned out. Brenda and I moved Great-Grandma Nellie here. This table and chairs are not going to permanently stay in front of the fireplace, but they're there for now. Actually, they will probably go over here between these two windows until I get some kind of settee or Davenport or Chesterfield couch, whatever we call it. So anyway, but it's just nice to see the floors all shiny and new, and it's nice to be able to get to the windows to open the blinds when I want to look out front. I also, one of the casters got broke off of my rolling cutting table in the move, actually kind of before the move, on the carpet in the old house. And so I got some JB Weld epoxy stuff and got that back on today. And then because the movers, when he gets here with my last load of stuff from my storage unit, it's all going to just go in here. This is going to be a storage room for the time being, maybe for quite a time being. Because one, I have to find a place for a lot of this stuff. I don't know where it's going to go unless I get a shed built or empty out the little shed that I have, which doesn't have a lot of room in it, or get access to my attic, which I do not have currently. So, let's go back in here. And I stopped, well, I'll tell you a little story. So these are paint samples, the peel and stick ones here. And I'm trying to decide, I think I'm gonna just go with a off-white neutral in this room and the front parlor and the hallway. But this color over here is called sea salt, the lighter color. That's a potential color for my kitchen. This is the color I had my entire open concept house in Chattanooga painted, and I love that color. It's almost a neutral, and it changes throughout the day. Sometimes it's green, sometimes it's blue, sometimes it's almost a little gray. And oh yes, I'm watching myself on YouTube, giving myself some more views. Actually, it's just playing in the background. But I don't think that the sea salt goes with my fireplace. So I thought about putting it in here because it does look nice against that very red wood of the fireplace, but I don't think it goes with the tile as well. I don't know. Oh, I also cleaned out a lot of this, and if I had either the supports for the shelves for the bookshelves in my bedroom, which might be in one of these boxes, and or my hand cart, which is coming tonight, I would have moved almost everything out of here and probably unloaded it if I could find the shelf supports. I bought shelf supports yesterday at the hardware store and they were the wrong size. I went back today to return them and they didn't have the right size in stock. So I just left these here. That can get moved tomorrow and put up because I think that blue armoire cabinet is gonna go behind this door. It's gonna go either there or there. I'm not sure which. But no point in moving a big piece of furniture in here until I get the walls painted. And this room is next on my to be painted list because of that. And it's the room I spend most of my time in. And quite frankly, other than the bright gold kitchen, which is kind of growing on me, it's the one I want the color changed the most. All right, so let's go in here. The room that's almost done, and it was going to be much closer to being done today if things had gone. Oh, it's very echoey in here. This floor, people commented on this floor after Brenda and I got the carpet up that, you know, it's going to be so beautiful to get the carpet up and get the floor. But this floor is in really rough shape. You can see chunks out of it there, chunks out of it there, chunks out of it there, a big chunk out of it there, plus some random patches, of course, where the fireplace used to be. So also, especially over here, you can see where it was painted previously, dark brown. So today I went back to this hardware store that I got this green paint at, which I was really happy with. It's a Valspar medallion paint with a primer built in. We were able to cover that ugly gold. I mean, we did put 2 coats on here because after it dried, we could see spots where it was kind of showing through. You always have to kind of put. I don't believe any paint that says it's 1 coat only paint, especially if you're going over a bolt. But we did not have to prime it. And I mean, I guess I could have done 1 coat of primer and then 1 coat of the paint, but I still find myself putting a 2nd coat of the color on even when I prime. So anyhow, I went back to that store because I got really good service there. I was really happy with the paint. I made a tactical error. I went at dinner time, or not dinner, lunchtime. And so I think a lot of people, ooh, lights, Beth, lights. There we go. Let's go in here where we have a little light. I went in there at like 12:15, 12, somewhere around the 12 to 1 o'clock hour. And nobody was in the paint department. Usually in my couple other times I've gone there, somebody's come and waited on me almost immediately. And they were pretty busy. So the one clerk at the cash register had a line, so I didn't want to bother her. And eventually she wasn't busy, so I went, and I'd been there I'd been there close to a half hour, I think. But I was buying other stuff. I had things to return. I had other things to pick up. Finally, she wasn't busy. I asked her if there was somebody for the paint department. She paged somebody. Then somebody came, but they were looking for something for somebody else. Finally, that person was able to help me just to tell me that they did not have any of the paint base that I needed for the color I wanted for the floor. Bummer. She could do a quart. I'm like, a room is way too big for a quart. Not going to be enough. And I did the math, and 2 quarts cost as much as 1 gallon. So twice as much, per volume or whatever. That wasn't going to work. Because I might be able to get away with 3 quarts in there, but I'd rather have a gallon and have enough. Because again, multiple coats. So, I returned my stuff, bought what I needed to buy, moved on. Thought, well, you know what? There's a Sherwin-Williams store just down the road, and they're a paint store. They should have what I need. I went in, person behind the counter asked, to help me, and they didn't really know for sure what I needed for painting a floor. I knew what I needed. Went and got some other guy who, supposedly knew. And he insisted, well, if it's an old house and it's got a previously painted floor, it's probably oil paint. And if you put latex on it, it's going to bubble and peel. I'm like, I know that. I'm not dumb. I said I could get a bonding primer to put over. I said, there are primers made specifically to go over oil-based paints to to seal it so that the latex will bond to it and won't peel. Oh, no, you're going to have to sand that down to bare wood. I'm like, if I sand that floor down to bare wood, I'm just going to refinish it. And I'm not doing that because you saw how much damage was on it. So there's going to be patching going to be involved, and finding, first of all, in my experience, even pre-COVID, in an area that had a lot of people that worked on houses, it was very hard to find good qualified flooring contractors, hardwood floor, especially that knew what to do with old house floors. And they're expensive. Now, with the housing market the way it is post-COVID, and just Selma in general, those contractors are harder to find and have long waiting lists and are way more expensive. And I'm like, well, that's no. I wanna. I won't say quick and easy, but I want to be able to do this myself, and I don't want to pay thousands of dollars for this room. So I was like, okay, well, I want to say you're wrong, but I'm not going to argue with you. You obviously don't want my business. I picked up the paint samples that I just showed you, the peel and sticks, because Sherwin-Williams is the color. That sea salt color was Sherwin-Williams paint. So I have the exact color that I know I love, but I don't know. It might go in this room. It might go in this room, and then off-white in that middle room. I think that might be what happens. I don't know. It's not historically accurate, but I don't care because I love that color. Anyhow, I came home. I Googled. Bob Vila told me via Google exactly what I already knew. Bonding primer, tint it if you're doing a dark color. You could get it tinted, the primer tinted so that the color doesn't take as many coats. But at least 1 coat of bonding primer and at least 2 coats of latex floor paint, and you're good to go. So now I just have to wait for my hardware store to get paint back in stock, which of course they're having a paint sale from today through the 4th of July, but they don't have any paint on the shelves. Such is life. They're probably as frustrated by it as their customers are. So that's what I'm dealing with today. I thought at least I would have a coat of primer on that floor. I haven't found my nail polish remover because I don't do my nails very often anymore, but I know I have some around here somewhere because I probably use it for craft projects. But the way to test if your paint is latex or oil is to take some denatured alcohol or nail polish remover and rub it on the painted surface. If the paint comes off with the denatured alcohol or the acetone, then it is latex paint. If it does not come off, then it is oil paint. I'm afraid that I'm going to rub whatever I rub on that floor, it's going to come up brown because it's still, no matter how much scrubbing and mopping Brenda and I did the other day, it's still probably got 100 years of dirt on it, but I'll be able to at least tell if it softens the paint. But I have no idea how long that carpet was up there. Oil paints were still being used well into the 40s and 50s, some places into the 60s and 70s. So the potential for that being oil paint is still pretty high. But most of it is so worn off that I don't think it would affect it. I don't know. So I have everything I need to live in this house. So just because things aren't where they're supposed to be is not the end of the world. So, but I would like to get to creating and making again, because I need to start generating a little income around here, and that might be the way I can do it, is by making and selling. I don't know. The other thing, you may have saw these when I was doing my little living room tour, but earlier today, before I was heading out, an older couple came up my walk and knocked on the door, and they had these plants with them. They had like a rolling a laundry hamper, and they had these snake plants in it and a couple other little plants that are out on the porch. And they came in, they're like, we saw that you moved in. We wanted to welcome you to the neighborhood. And I thought, okay, that's really nice. They're bringing me plants. Because all of my house plants are still in Chattanooga at my daughter's house because they didn't make it on the truck. And and if she hadn't taken them, they would have been long dead by now with this heat and everything. So they might be dead anyway. I don't know. She's pretty good with plants. Hopefully, all she got to do is keep them watered and keep them out of the direct sun. But anyhow, back to my story. This couple came up, and it was so hot today. But they're like, well, we're not selling the plants, but they kind of gave me their sob story a bit about their water being turned off and the heat, and that they'd lost their jobs because of COVID. I don't know how much of any of their story was true, but they were a very sweet couple, and they wanted to know, and I literally had no cash, and I had $1 that I found in a drawer. Was the only cash I had in the house. I don't carry a lot of cash. So if you're looking to mug somebody, I'm not your person. But I was going to go to the store and the bank anyway because this mover's coming, and I wanted to have some cold Cokes in the fridge for him because it was such a hot day, and a frozen pizza or two. Well, I was going to go to this little store that has like, not DiGiorno, but like pizzas that they make, and that like take and bake pizzas that I just got, and good salads and stuff. That was where I was going to go, but it's a little further out. Anyhow, I was just getting ready. I was kind of finishing moving stuff around in here, and I was going to go up there and get Cokes, wine, pizza, salad, so I didn't have to cook tonight, because I have no idea when this guy was going to get here. He's not here yet, and it is 6:40. So anyhow, I said, okay, well, you know what? I was just on my way out anyway, and so they went over and sat in the shade down the block from my house. I ran up to Walgreens because it's right next to my bank. I got some Cokes and pizza, didn't get salad, got some chips and dip, got a bottle of Walmart or Walgreens wine, not house brand, but just some cheap wine, and went to the drive-through teller and got some cash because I wanted to have cash to tip the mover as well when he was done today, and came back, and they were still here, and I gave them some cold Cokes, and I gave them some money, a little bit of money, not a lot of money, but a little bit of money. Hopefully they can use it to get their water back on today. I might be scammed. I don't think I got scammed, but I didn't give them more than I could afford to give them, and they seemed very appreciative. He gave me his phone number, and he said if I had any handyman jobs that I needed done, to give him a call. He'd be happy to help me out, because he's always looking for something to do and some work. So we chatted for a bit. They seem like a very sweet couple, and maybe just down on their luck. And I guess that was my good deed for the day. I just hope word doesn't get out to every person in Selma who's down on their luck, because unfortunately there are a number of them. I might be one of them if I keep spending money like I have been the last couple weeks on this house. And if my electric bill continues to rise, I might be out selling plants on the street corners. I don't know, going door to door. I don't know. But anyhow, that was my story. I got some beautiful plants out of it. And so yesterday I had another very weird experience. About this time of day, maybe a little earlier in the afternoon, late afternoon, but before the sun was really going down or anything. It had been very hot all day, and then all of a sudden, which seems to happen down here, a storm blew in, and it was really gusty wind. I could hear it like rattling, blowing the trees in the backyard, and some stuff was blowing. Had been garbage day, and stuff was blowing down the street. And on the north side of the house, it started raining, but it hadn't. I was on the south side of the house, and I didn't see the rain yet. But then all of a sudden, this huge gust of wind blew, and I could hear the rain hitting the windows and the roof. And then all of a sudden, not in this fireplace, but in the fireplace on the other side of this wall, in the room where I sit and watch TV, I heard something fall in the fireplace. And this fireplace has a cast iron summer cover, which fell over in the middle of the night the other night when my sister was sleeping in the other room on the couch and scared the crap out of both of us at about 2 a.m. Because a gust of wind came through. It was also the night we lost power. I don't know if I told that story, but we lost power for about an hour and a half. Last week when she was here, and it got very hot in here at midnight. But so this one has this cast iron summer cover that doesn't latch, but I've got it propped in here pretty good now. But the other two fireplaces just have foam board. The one in question in the middle room has like one of those 3-paneled like display boards you use for science fairs, kind of folded and wedged in there. And I heard something fall. And then I heard something moving in there. And I was freaking out because I really don't like rodents. Spiders, not really a big problem for me. Snakes, if I know they're not venomous, I can deal with snakes. They freak me out initially, but I'm not scared of snakes particularly. But rodents, not a fan at all. But I'm like, well, what would be the likelihood that there'd be a rat in there? Then I saw something moving at the edge, between the edge of the fireplace surround and the cardboard that's in there. I was like, oh my God. And of course, Cass was sleeping on his bed right in front of the fireplace. He didn't even move when all this started happening until I told him to move. Lilith came running from the other room because she heard the commotion, and she was very fascinated. She wanted to get in there. Long story short, I finally rustled up the courage to remove the board, and sadly, there was a nest of baby birds, and these were brand new baby birds, just hatched. I think there ended up being 6 or 7 of them. A couple of them were already deceased from the fall. There is a storm at this point. The storm is raging outside, blowing, gusting, thunder, lightning, the whole nine. It only lasted about less than an hour, but at this moment, it was quite the storm. And I have these 6 baby birds, and the other ones that survived the fall, I knew were not going to survive. They were too little. Especially in the store, I don't have any contacts. By the time I would to be able to find a rescue, and there was no way I was going to be able to keep them away from the cat or keep them fed. I don't know anything about any of that. So I was very heartbroken because I knew that they were not going to survive. So I scooped them up, and I put them in a bucket, and I took them outside, and I took care of the situation. I can't go into detail. It still really bothers me, and I'm sure I'm going to get some hate for this. But I returned them to the earth, I guess, is the best I can say, to complete the life cycle and bless them the best I could. Felt really not good to me. I don't know. But It's the best I could do. It's all I could do in the circumstances. I mean, even after the storm, it was still in the 90s here. So, on the other hand, had they fallen a week later or a couple weeks, I don't know how long it takes baby birds to fully fledge from hatching. I think these had just hatched in the last few days. They had to have been, had to. I've watched a number of nests of baby birds in, bushes outside my house and watched their progress. And these looked just days, maybe hours old at this point. Had they gotten to the point where they were fledging and trying to learn to fly, they probably would have fallen down that fireplace anyway. If their nest was in the fireplace, in the chimney, top of the chimney or wherever it was. Also added to the list, well, it was already on the list, but maybe a little bit more, moving it up the list, is to have a fireplace chimney inspection, a full inspection done, and have someone come and look into sealing these chimneys up in a more there's small pieces of plywood in that chimney that I think or in that firebox that I think were up in the chimney. But there's a lot of bricks and a lot of dust in that firebox. So, yeah, definitely don't have safe usable chimneys at this point. Not that I would ever put a wood burning fire in any of these fireplaces, and they all have connections for gas logs. Actually, this fireplace still has a gas log in it. But again, if the chimney's blocked with bird's nests or whatever, I'm not even going to have a gas fire in here because I'll kill myself. Or start the house on fire. So anyway, that was that story. It's still bothering me 24 hours later, but it's all I can do. I don't know what else I could have done at that point. Yeah. So that was my Friday update. I didn't have as much done today as I had hoped to share. And I hope this mover gets here. This poor guy, I think he worked a full 16-hour day yesterday. Didn't get back till late. He and his wife did my move in 2 weeks ago and was working. They left here at about 10:30 and we're driving back to Chattanooga. We're going to get to Chattanooga at 1. And he said and that was a Thursday or Friday. And I think it was a Thursday. He was going to work Friday and Saturday, and he had Sunday off. And he said if I wanted to hire him off the books, he'd come down he'd do what he's doing today on Sunday's day off. And I didn't take him up on it. I kind of regret it, but and he's probably annoyed by it. But anyway, he's going to have another long day. But so if hard work made you a millionaire, this guy should be at Elon Musk level, but he's not, unfortunately. So, but we all know what happened today. If you don't, I mean, I'm pretty isolated. I don't watch a lot of news. I know what happened today. I'm not going to get political or ranty on this channel, but my heart's with all of us that are heartbroken by decisions made and unmade today, and what's going to happen going forward. That's all I got to say about that. So, maybe I'll check in after the mover gets here. Maybe I'll just go to bed because he might get here real late and be another late night. Good night. Goodbye. Happy Friday. It's not a happy Friday for most of us. If it is a happy Friday for you, you're probably watching the wrong channel. Unless something wonderful, non-political happened for you today. Peace out. Love you. Bye.